liked what you saw on the dev stream yesterday. Awesome, Pete. That's really good to hear. Thank you. Right, unlock doors. That's this one. Master switches on. Reverse it forwards. Dim to beam on that. Turn the cab lights off. Oh, I'm trying to remember how to drive this thing. CIFA, PZB. And switch to day-night. That's better. That's better. $8:16:30. Yeah, I'd like to do another editor video on the official channel at some point. Inspector Tiger. Need to practice my route building mojo so I can do a stream on making a simple route. Let's have some privacy in here, please. Oh, hello. That ain't gonna work. Red Bars, thank you for the follow. But which test track would you like to see? There are so many to choose from. Wildenrath is the one that's in TS1. I nearly forgot we're still in monitoring. It's released from that. I don't think for 1 minute we still need to remain in that. Derek, at the moment it's just the content that's part of TSW 2020 specifically that's been upgraded. There's no plans announced yet about upgrading the other routes to it, but I know there is tasks in the schedule to get onto it at some point. Trying to remember how to drive this train now. So long since I've driven the Talon. Yeah, all of your current DLC will work fine on the new version. Shouldn't be any problem there. If you do have any problems, shout, because it's all expected to work. Baracub, something simple. How about the West Coast Main Line? Maybe. 16-year stream starts tomorrow. Wait until 8:20, which is coming up in 4, 3, 2, 1. But yeah, to be honest, it's making all the old assets, all the existing assets available is one of the things that's making it take longer to do the editor. To be honest, will broken services and C for achievement be fixed in the update? There's some improvements in those areas. I don't know whether all the ones that you're referring to may be fixed. I don't know. Are all the ones you're referring that you found? Have you raised support tickets for them? Next stop is 1.7 Muckleberg. Oh, I'd love to do Big Boy at some point, Ditchuz, but it will not be the first steam engine we do. It sounds like a UFO or something. Don't ask me how I know what a UFO sounds like. Shh, secret. Al Park, thank you for the follow. Much appreciated. Oh, you're going to pick up the 182? Oh, nice, Derek. Hopefully we'll see a 182 on this journey, actually. Where'd you come from? I believe that's the case, Pete, but let's find out till tomorrow. I know that pricing and all the rest of it is is down to the platform vendors, whether discounts get applied, how, and all the rest of it. So I know that it's in hand with the retail team. I can't remember exactly. I believe there's a 10% discount on all platforms. But don't hold me to it if I'm wrong, because I'm usually wrong. And that'll just take up a lot of your time. Right, 67% power. To be honest, there's a lot of element of that's where TS1 has got to, Inspector Tyker, with the dispatcher. It's such a beast that no one wants to touch it. Because you could never guarantee that you haven't missed some element of it, that you've now broke it all. Or 8 meters out. Hello. Excuse me, ladies and gentlemen. Get that dopamine rush as it goes bling. Oh, another one here. Bling. Super satisfying. Got a bit of time to wander. Let's see if we can't find something else fun. Where is yonder spade? Where is yonder shovel? I see no shovel. Maybe I've already picked it up. Hello. Excuse me, everybody. Thank you. Coming through important business. Lock the doors. Leipzig Konowitz. Actually supposed to keep it around 50 kilonewtons. I've seen a lot of people asking for longer routes. Has the team considered doing shorter, more densely populated routes? There's a lot of people asking for the longer routes, so the desire is to try and get the routes longer. Have more areas to explore away from the tracks. Yeah, I don't know how that goes down, because fundamentally we're a train simulator and people are wanting to drive trains, so giving them more places to walk, I don't know how well that would go down. Something to look at. Yellow, which is approach for red. Down to 65, ready for the 500 hertz. Right, slowing down to get stopped. Oh, just about spot on. Yeah, a nice little German shunt would be ideal, wouldn't it, Euro? Right, we've got 500 hertz restricted monitoring going on, so we're limited to 25 kilometers an hour as we pull out the station. Watch me forget that. Alright, we're now in standard restrictive monitoring, so we're clear up to 45. How do you mean, what's with the title? Deadly? Right, we're out of restrictive monitoring. We can now proceed up to the speed limit. Looking for Leipzig MDR next, which is around the corner. That'll drop us down to 85. And oh, didn't slow down fast enough. We got a blockage in front of us. Yeah, the previous train is still there, look. Alright, shut up. 25 kilometers now. No, I know, Francois, it's not ideal, but then I also haven't done that much streaming in that time either, so don't beat yourself up about it, and certainly don't do it if you haven't got time. Oh, anyone who wanted to see a talent, there's one coming up. Right, now we can pull up to 45. Oh, she does look nice. Yeah, there's a lot of link between them. That's the Taurus. That's a Euro Sprinter, and the ACS 64 is a City Sprinter. But they both come out of the same factory, I think, or at least the same design house. Yeah, Utah should be good. I haven't even looked at Washington yet on ATS, Mark. I'm really looking forward to get some time to play some American trucks in. Right, so restricted 1000 hertz, so 45 kilometers an hour as we pull out. Give it 50 kilonewtons of power. Well, I'm getting back to regular streaming now, Francois, slowly but surely, so things will return to some semblance of craziness. I mean normality. Right, that's up to 40. Get restricted monitoring, or 1000 hertz to end, or the restricted monitoring, one of the two. Ninja Joker, thank you very much for the sub, 13 months, much appreciated. Still got restricted monitoring. We're now going to get another 1000 hertz from this signal. There's a new K100. Ooh, moggy. Mmm, tasty. Might have to have a look at that. I do like the K100. 500 hertz is lit. How's the one on Model Railway doing? It's doing fine, Mark. Next, the bank holiday weekend coming up in August. That's when we're going to be doing the next session with it. So that'll be streamed as always. This is the first of the underground baked lighting stations. They're absolutely stunning. Service in front is starting to make us late now. I'm already late for the next station. I haven't even started this one. Right, 25 kilometers an hour limit. Do you think with new consoles becoming like Xbox, PS5, there's more possible in TSW? Oh, as more horsepower comes out to the machines, then there's always potentially more that can be done with them. What does baked lighting mean? Big Bean Kid, do you know what ray tracing is? Just out of interest. Essentially, it's the same as ray tracing, but on a game level instead. No idea. Okay, so the way video games work is you've got a 3D model, but you need lighting to make it lit up, right? So what you do is you put a light in the scene, and what the light does, the game, because light is really complicated, because light bounces off things, and so if you shine a light at a wall, there'll be another bit of light comes off another wall. And trying to calculate all of that stuff is supremely expensive. And then you've got to think about all the shadows and everything else that happen. So you end up actually... so what ray tracing does is it will calculate all of the light rays that come out, millions of light rays that come out of a light source, and then bounce them around the scene and look at how... Imagine you've got a yellow wall and a white wall. If you shine a light at a yellow wall, you'll get a reflection, a bounce of light, which is a yellowy colour on the white wall. So you kind of have to take that into account as well. So ray tracing does all of that stuff, but that is super expensive for video games. So if you try and do that actually at real time, okay, the RTX cards are kind of, that's what the RTX real time ray tracing are trying to, that's their speciality. But for regular, Mortal cards, that stuff is out of bounds. There's no way you can achieve that stuff. So the way that lighting works normally is it's a very primitive. How far away are you? Is a surface? Is it facing the light? And if so, the distance from the light will give it an amount of that it will reflect by, or how much it will be lit up by it. That's okay to a point. However, to light an underground station like this, which is, there's no artificial light, there's no what they call background illumination or global illumination here. It's all done by all of these lights. That gets superbly expensive because you end up having tons and tons and tons of these lights in here, and the frame rate absolutely tanks. So what baked lighting does is you put as many lights in the scene as you want, and then you just tell it, go away for 10 hours or whatever time it takes and figure out what this scene looks like, and then it will rebake all of the textures and the lighting in the scene and calculate it, so that it doesn't have to figure it out in real time. Everything is just done. So I get a lovely high frame rate in here, even though I've got what looks like supremely complicated lighting going on. So you can't really do baked lighting outside because the time of day changes, otherwise you'd end up with a lit bits of track at night, or vice versa. But if you're in a controlled lighting area like this, you can do full baking on the light, which just looks amazing. And the frame rates are the best you can ever get in the game, pretty much, because it's not doing any lighting calculations at all. Does that explain anything, or just witchcraft? Should I have just said witchcraft? Right. Another yellow. Back on the 1,000, up to 45. What's the Hertz limiter thing do? So that's PZB, that's the German safety system. So there's magnets on the track, Belize's magnets, a bit like an AWS magnet in the UK. And what they do, they either send a 1,000 Hertz frequency, a 2,000 Hertz frequency, a 500 Hertz frequency, and they're at different times or different points along the track, essentially. And what they do is, depending on the mode that the internal system is in, they'll make different indicators come up on the screen, and I'll have to drive to different speed limits and so forth according to what actually comes up. So it's restrictive monitoring is this flashing symbol in here, and then the 1,000 Hertz this light up. That tells me I've got a 45 kilometers an hour speed limit. Do the wheels spark if wheel slip occurs? Yes, they do, Ronick. If you have a look on my YouTube channel, I demonstrated it on a Class 66 by disabling some of the traction motors and relying on a single traction motor to try and pull the train. Kiwi Hobo, thank you for the follow. Meow Meow, thank you for the follow. There's a couple of PCB tutorials online, Scotty. If you've got Rosy Ignored or Main Spec s-bahn, there's quite detailed stuff in the manual for those ones on Train Sim World. That should hopefully have. A lot of people wrote the original version for Rosy, and I got a lot of positive feedback from people saying, yeah, this actually makes a huge difference and that they've learned how to use PZB. A lot of it is just though practice, and it is quite frustrating until you actually figure it out. So we've got 1,000 Hertz still, so we're still at 45 limit. You at this station, was this the station to do the bait lighting for others? I'm not quite sure I understand the question, Derek. Hey Fran Jobles, how's it going? First time, excellent. Welcome to the stream. TSW 2020 out tomorrow, so one last play of this version tonight. Essentially, Derek, this entire underground section, from when we first went underground after MDR until we come out after Teeth here, is baked as one big section. It actually takes quite a long time to do the light bake for this. You end up with about, I don't know, 30 PCs, taking about 10 or 15 hours, I think it is. Good night, Jill. Almost every game will use baking, Big Dog, because most games don't have dynamic lighting, which means you can just set the scene up exactly as you want it and kick it off for baking, and then when it comes back it looks 10 times better and the frame rate is 100 times higher. But what you then can't do is say, oh, can you move the sun down a little bit, because then you need to rebake the whole thing a bit. When will TSW Moggy Edition finally be released? That's basically just test track with 500 Gronks. Is that what you mean, Moggy? Will I be streaming the new one tomorrow? So it'll be on the official channel tomorrow. I'll be hosting it with Dimitri on the official channel at Dovetail Games from 6 till 7:30. And then when I get home, yes, I'll be doing some more on my channel here. Yeah, mine too, Daddy Dorito. This is my favourite part of the route by far. It's brilliant. No, you can't do it automatically at the moment, Cyrus. It is on my wish list, but it's not something you can do yet. Right, so we have monitoring still, but no 1000 hertz, which is good. So we're still limited to 45, but that will release. Oh no, it won't, because we're about to get hit with an 80 kilometers an hour with flashing green, so I need to acknowledge it. That'll give us 1000 hertz. Franjo Balls, thank you for the follow. So we'll just leave it at 40 for the time being. Oh, got another Talent 2 service coming in the other way. Released from monitoring so it can get up to speed limit. Can you play in 4K on TSW? Yeah, you can play in 4K. It supports 4K. I can't because I haven't got a 4K system. Not really want one, to be honest. Some of the US fast transit systems, such as Baked Bean Kid. I mean, Lear is one of those, isn't it? Yeah, I just realised I should be stopping here. 8 gig GPU should be fine, Ronak. This thing has fairly monster brakes though, so we're good. Well, it uses a combination of air and electric brakes, Joey. So when you put it in fairly full braking, you are getting quite a lot of brake force applied. But that's the key thing. This commuter EMU was specifically designed for rapid start, rapid stop. Ronic SSD improves load times and it reduces stutters from loading data as well. I don't care about the passengers, though, Baked Bean Kid. I'm here to drive trains. The passengers are just there to pay the bills for me to drive the trains. SD70 ACE. Remind me, which one's the ACE, Derek? Is that the one that's got sort of the more vertically oriented windows? I like both of them actually, the M2 and the ACE. The SD70s are interesting. They make a lovely sound as well, as they should, being EMD. Right, 100 limit. Right, we've got a 70 for turning left, which we're not doing, but I'm going to acknowledge it anyway. We've got nothing else on the PZB, so we's good. 3.3 for Leipzig Messe. You know what? Just as we think those funky air hoses problem is gone, they'll sneak back in. The problem is that it's not one problem. It's one symptom of 100 different causes. Classic ERF units, yes. Oh yeah. No, I'm a big fan of the F7s. Or any of them, to be honest. They're all nice. But you can't beat an F7. One of the first add-ons I helped work on for Microsoft Train Sim was the Erie Mining Company one. And that was my first sort of sight of seeing, because that had the F7 ABBA at the front, and I was just taken aback by it. I just loved the look of that train. ERF units ever work on Horseshoe? Yes, indeed, Baked Bean Kid. In fact, I believe the TS1 version of Horseshoe Curve comes with a Penzi F7 ABBA. So we're running 3 minutes behind now. We need to try and get caught up. Yeah, I think the platforms are all designed to support 6-car trains, so I think I'm only running a 3. Yeah, I'm only running a 3. They have to be long if Matt's driving. Thank you, Baby Kid. I'm not saying you're wrong, but... Nothing fancy on the PZB at the moment. Oh, the cab car is probably my favourite is to drive the cab car, Joey. Ed has absolutely knocked it out of the park on the sounds. Not to say the F40 is bad at all, but I like the cab car. It's got like this wind whistling effect. Because apparently the recordings showed that there was a lot of wind blowing through these things when they were riding. It has wind, yeah, it does. Badly. Well, yeah, LZB is cheat mode, Ronak. 4.3 for Rackwitz Leipzig. Moggy, yes, as in Mr. F. Yeah, when you're driving the CAD car, if you open the windows, it's actually quite a noisy experience. Even though you can't hear the engine. Well, not very well anyway. We went and we did a research trip, being kid, and brought all the sounds back, and then Ed did setup for the cab car. Get a bit of speed up on this section. This means I'm never going to stop at stations. Yeah, you think it was a holiday, Scotty, but actually the guys, they get up very early in the morning and they go to bed very late and they're very tired. They have a really good time, don't get me wrong. They really enjoyed it out there, but research trips are hard work. Yeah, I did, Moggy. Shh, don't, shh. Told him it was an LMS local he'd never heard of before, and he was quite excited. No, to be honest, getting stuff set up to make Steam work in TSW is not the difficult bit, Moricom. That just needs doing. Diesel electric, I think, is going to work out far harder ultimately than Steam will do. Because there's a lot less magic with Steam, whereas diesel electrics, there's lots of black boxes with electronics and computer systems that just make life difficult, because getting actually what's inside that black box is difficult. So I think Steam will be actually not terrible to do. I think getting the particle effects right is going to be a challenge. I think making them accessible so that you get a full experience for the hardcore player, but you also make it so that someone who just wants to make a Steam engine go can do that. And the training experience, all that stuff is tough. Other research trips to gather all the sounds and features and locos. Yes, it's cab rides, audio recording, it's photographs, it's photographs along the route. Everything and anything, basically. Right, nothing fancy on PZB, so we're good for line speed again. 4.8 for Jotao. Yeah, the trick there is to make it to where it can you can do it on one player. Baked Bean Kid, i.e. you have something that can properly auto fire or even properly drive and let you do the coaling and firing. I think there's lots of fun prospects. Don't think it needs to wait till multiplayer, but it can't rely on one player doing everything. That just makes it too hard. 3.6. Copy Freak, still no editor in TSW? No, not yet. There's no news about it yet. there's actually third parties have already got the editor, CompuFreak, on a closed beta basis to start learning how to use it. So, yeah, definitely. The multiplayer on TS1, yeah, that was really good fun. I enjoyed that. This is the whizzy bit of the route, because I get a lot faster this section to 160 kilometers an hour. Hey, on the car. Whizzy being the correct term. Yes, absolutely, Baked Bean Kid. It is a technical term. If you can't keep up with the use of these technical terms, then there's not much I can do to help, I'm afraid. It's like when they talk about things like HS1 and HS2, they say things like that because if they said the whizzy bit, everyone would say, wait, what? Right, Dilic und Bahnhof. Up that 50 kilonewtons until we get sped up to the right speed. Oh, lovely. Another Taurus. Yeah, it's a coalition between First and Trenitalia that have taken over, or going to be taking over the West Coast Main Line. Pete? It's always interesting, though, specifically calling out dumping the Voyagers and replacing them. And they're going to modernise the Pendos. Well, I don't know what's happening to them. They just said they're replacing them, Baked Bean Kid. In their website, they talk about replacing the unliked Voyager trains or something. Joey, are there going to be many freight services on the corridor? What's the corridor that you're referring to? Oh, do you mean the Peninsula corridor? Sorry. It's a mixture of runs up and down the line, and there's some unloading of wagons, a bit of switching. Nothing massively extensive because there isn't a lot of freight on that line. I think when the guys went out there for a week, they barely saw a freight train at all. BK4444, welcome to the stream. Thanks for the follow. Retiring all the SD60s. Does that include the first responder ones as well, Derek? If so, that's a shame. I like those too. Right, got nothing funky on PZB. Bitterfeld is next. Is there a reason for that, Derek? Have they found there's a maintenance cost and they're replacing them with something new, or are they failing emissions now, or...? "11 kilometres now to Bitterfeld." To Bidford. We're almost up to the speed limit. That makes sense, Derek. How do you see the max speed limit? It's the red tick on the speedometer. Down here. And if there's another change of speed limit coming, it'll show up here. Seven and a half clicks. What all of this time spent at high speed means is no chance in heck that I'm going to get stopped at the station in time. Because I'm going to be enjoying the high speed so much, going, yay, this is really cool, not having to stop. Oh my god, I should have stopped. clown nose noise. It is a little bit paddy, isn't it? 5.2 for Bitterfeld. Right, yellow. $85 down to 65. We did it. 500 hertz. And there's a red light. Coast in at 25. I was wondering when we'd catch up with the one in front with all that high speed running. Right, so restrictive monitoring 500 hertz, so 25 kilometers an hour limits. Now up to a 45 kilometer hour limit. Had you turn PZB on, it's on this loco, it's on the back wall, or you can just press Control Enter and Shift Enter to turn on PZB and CIFA, or go and find the control and turn it on that way on the back. In this case, it's on the back wall. Oh, I see. We're reducing speed here because we're changing tracks. Believe this means I can go above. Yes. The flashing 85 means I'm limited to 85. Got a flashing green signal coming up, telling us to reduce to 60. I quite enjoy playing it on console as well, Jake, actually. I think it's the controller. Makes it quite chill. Max0908, thank you for the follow. Alright, we're stopping here at Bitterfeld. Yeah, CIFA's on. I just released it. I just reset it. Is there a difference between playing TSO on Xbox or PS4? Not really. I think the graphics are slightly better on the PS4. Don't quote me on that. But fundamentally, they're the same game. Yeah, I'll show you in a minute, Ronick, when we've got this thing open, got the doors open. So it's here. CIFA's that one, turn it right. PCB is this one, turn it right. SPJ, ever gone back to program the voice interface to truck was really nice? No, I haven't really gone back to that, to be honest, SPJ. I've been way too, I think since about January I've been flat out at work. But things are returning to normality, so I might get a chance to fire up Visual Studio and do fun stuff again. Will we ever do Monday Night Trucking again? Yes, indeed. At some point we'll do trucking. Greppin. We've not got any limits on us now either. Other than that yellow light that's in front of us. Right. Oh, there's dusto going on the other side there. We are good up to 85, so I might as well speed up. Actually, we get up to 80, given the speed limit is 80, so let's do that. It's 1.9 kilometres to Greppin. Green light. Up to 120. Yellow. Acknowledge that. Oh, hello. Stopping here. Where did that 1.9 kilometres go? Jeez. Baked bean kid, that was all your fault. Just saying. Result. What did you miss? Absolutely nothing, Ronak. Nothing went wrong. Everything was absolutely fine and as planned. That never happened, Moggy. Slander. Come on, T-Light. Steady up. Thank you. The station just moved. The station was coming in towards me, so I missed it. The station would stand still, and everything would be so much easier. Wolfenbitterfeld is next. Oh. PBD. Still in monitoring, wasn't I? It's all gone P-Talk, that's it. Baked Bean Kid has made Baked Bean Kid's night. 75, 85, 1000 hertz means I'm limited to 45 kilometers an hour. Let's start paying attention again. I saw the green light in front of me and thought, hey, we're good to go. Yeah, watch what you're doing. Maritime transport, what content do you get in TS 2020? So if you buy TSW 2020, it's on PC, it's Sandpatch Grade, Great Western, Long Island, Main Specific Bar, Northern Transpennine, and if you get Digital Deluxe, it's also Peninsula Corridor. If you buy it on console, it's the same but without Sandpatch Grade, essentially. Good for 85. Ooh, property yellow. Upgrade just the new route. So if you don't spend any money, then you don't get any new routes, but you'll just get all of the core tech updates. So you get the new menus and journey features and all that sort of thing. No, stop accelerating. You need to stop here, you dummy. Should put the distance to the next station in like big numbers in the top left corner of the screen so that I can see it. Yeah, if all you want to do is get Peninsula Corridor, that will be available separately to buy, and I think there's a 10% discount on it, Maritime. So that'll just be there that's the cheapest way of picking it up if you've got everything else. God, you've done it now, Ronick. You're going to Nebworth the next time you drive a train. That's my prediction. Yes, Snits. This is the route that just keeps on going. At least until tomorrow. And when you'll get a next route that just keeps on going and going and going. It seems to take forever to get from San Fran to San Jose. Right, nothing fancy going on PZB. Drop speed warning advance for 120 and a green light. Right, good night, Moggy. Thanks for stopping in, honouring us with your presence. Drop down to 85, pretty sharp like. And then drop down to 70. Good. The skies aren't fantastic, Mick Carter. It's one of the weaknesses of the system. I think they probably look better in the other direction, yeah. It's because of how they're being lit. Ultra Kid, you're enjoying West Somerset at the moment. That's awesome. Yeah, that's the Rooster. Seeing what's coming next in the T is with the T key is fantastic. It really is. Derek, SFG will be the second longest route after Sandpatch Crate. Yeah, and longest on console. For an end-to-end for a local stopping service, one of the 100 series trains, you're looking at about an hour and 45 minutes. For one of the limited stop trains, you're looking at around anywhere between an hour and 20, hour and 30, hour and 40. Depending on whether it's a... Some of them only stop at sort of a few places along the line. Some of them stop at a few places on the north half and then every station below, and some of them the other way around. Then you've got the 300 series, which are the baby bullet trains, and they stop at about 4 stations or 5 stations along the way. Some third-party devs have even got the tools already, Maritime. Not many, as part of a closed beta to sort of help us with dev testing. That'll widen out as the tools develop. Ragoon. Nothing fancy on PZB again. Up to 120. We're going in 1.9 kilometres. Time to slow down. Oh, I'm looking forward to seeing what people do with the tools once they come out. But no, it is harder. There's a lot more to do. There's a lot more detail, so not everyone will be up to it. But there'll be others that will, so... Uh, 2020, I think, is $24.99 standard edition, $39.99 digital deluxe. If I remember rightly, Via. Yeah, VR would be cool. Be a little while yet, though. Time to lock the doors. Now. Dessau South. Oh, we're at penultimate station. Dessau South and then Dessau. Got nothing funky on the PZB, so let's speed up. It's 11 kilometres to Dessau South, and then Dessau is only about 2 foot up the line. MHNC55, thank you for the follow. No, on Steam it will just remain Train Sim World, definitely. It's the same as Train Simulator, is just Train Simulator these days. Railfan Kavion, thank you for the follow, much appreciated. .2 kilometers. Bit more power to help it maintain the speed. Yeah, track IR would be cool, wouldn't it? Shut up, Sifa. You just pressed acknowledge when Sifa went up in your game. The challenge that's not generally a problem, but Electric Kid, Ultra Kid. What is a problem is when you get so used to it going off. Good night, Moricom. You get so used to it going off on the stream that you actively ignore it, and then you realise it was your one that was going off. .8 kilometres, a bit more power. Two kilometres. Start bringing the speed down for the south-south. Oh, welcome back, Rob. Easiest way to get an answer to that is to watch yesterday's official stream, Daffy's. We showed off the thing, talked about the updates and so forth. There he goes. Yeah, rapid transit is a long route. And this isn't even stopping at all the stations. Right, Dessau is the final station. Just down the line, 4 kilometres. Hey Bam Bam, my day was good, thank you. Busy as always, but that's the way I like it. Up to 120. On proper horn use? No. Have a sneaky suspicion that if there's people walking on the track in front of you, you're allowed to blow the horn, tell them to get the heck out of your way. Yeah, I know, Tordek, it's not ideal. Right. Very excited for tomorrow. Is DTG doing another stream? Yes, indeed. We're doing it at 6 o'clock tomorrow. Yellow lights. We're good for 65. PZB Modo, 500 Hz is 65 kilometers an hour. And stop. Yeah, you've been around for a while, Ronak. Always a pleasure. Boom! What score did we get? Oh, that's a lot of stops. Imagine what the graph is going to look like on that one. Oh, hello. Dosto leader at the front, is it? Yeah, you've got Taurus at the back. Right, that's that one. One more tonight. We're going to do the NEC now.